Hi everyone, it's Darla from Crafty Yarn Owl. Welcome. Today we're going to be making this cardigan. It's a raglan style, so we start at the top, we work our way down, and as we do that, the cardigan will get wider and longer, and then we'll finish off the bottom.
I show in the video where to try it on.
Now there's a few choices here. You can make these short sleeves, or you can make it long sleeved. There's a hood on this one. You don't have to make the hood, you can just make a collar. I show that in the video, and the collar would look like this in this picture right beside me here. You can make a drawstring and put beads on the end, and then you'll need some buttons. Okay, let's get started. For my cardigan, I used this Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton. Colorway is Woodland Wisp. It's a 3-weight, 100% cotton yarn. Of course, you can use any size, any fiber you would like to use. This one has 5 ounces, 142 grams, 335 yards, 306 meters. And I used 3 balls. This is what I had left from the 3 balls. I did a lot of color controlling. I'm about a size large, and I used about 1,000 yards. I show you in the video where to try it on to custom size it to fit you. I used 4 hook sizes, a 5.5 millimeter, a 6.5 millimeter. The 4.5 and the 4 millimeter I used to bring in the cuffs on the sleeves just a little bit. Also need some stitch markers, some scissors, and a darning needle. If you're going to make the hood and a drawstring, you may want some beads on the end of your drawstring. I just took whatever I had here. And for buttons, these are 1 1/4 inches wide, which is 3.18 centimeters, and you'll need 3. Just a note here before we start. For these stitches here, this is the bottom of the back. This is actually the center. For these stitches here, I had gone up to the 6.5 millimeter hook to make these stitches a little bit longer so that the bottom of the sweater would be even. When I did the border, I wish now that I would have gone down hook size just for this section here and then go back up to our regular size I was using, because this back ended up being a little wavy when you hang it. So because I've put the buttons on the front and closed the sweater over itself in the front and closed it off with buttons, that took care of the problem on the back here. But I just wanted to let you know that that happened. All right, thanks. You'll make a chain of 75. And then we'll go into the second chain from the hook and make a single crochet. We'll be making single crochets all the way across this row. And if you want to jump ahead, we'll be making a second row of single crochets. But I will meet you at the end of this row. When you've finished your first row of single crochets, you will have 74 single crochets. And then we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. I'm going to put a single crochet in that very first stitch and in every stitch afterwards. Single crochet in every stitch. So now we will have 2 rows of single crochets. And I'll see you at the end of this row. Now I've completed the second row of single crochets. I put a single crochet in that last stitch. And now we're going to go on to row 3, which will set up the design. Okay, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Now that chain 3 represents a double crochet. So we're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet. And then we're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Okay, there's 3 double crochets in a row. Then we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2. 1, 2, go in the next stitch, with a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, go in the next one with the same thing, a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. We're going to skip 2, go in the next stitch with a single crochet, a half double, and then a double crochet. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So now we are going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to put a V-stitch in the next stitch. So that is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So that's one of our corners. We're going to have a total of 4 corners in this cardigan. So I'm going to mark that one just so it's easier to spot when we come back around to it. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. Now every time we do a V-stitch, we're going to chain 2 before the V-stitch and chain 2 after the V-stitch. Okay, and we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to make this little design. What are we going to call it? A little fan? A little fan. That's what we're going to make. So we skip 2, like I said, after we've chained 2, and then we go in the next stitch with a single crochet, half double, and a double crochet. Skip 2, go in the next stitch with a single crochet, half double, and a double crochet. Okay, skip 2, 1, 2, go in the next with a single crochet, a half double, and a double crochet. Okay, so now we are going to make another corner, a V-stitch. So we are going to chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, go on the next one with a V-stitch, which was a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, I'm going to mark it. And then we need to chain 2 after that. We're going to skip 2. And now we're going to make our little fan type things again. But we're going to make, instead of just 3 like we did here and over here, we're going to make 6. Okay? So I've chained the 2, and then we're skip 2, go in the next one with a single crochet, a half double, and a double crochet. Skip 2, go in the next one, it's a single, half double, and a double crochet. Okay, that's 2. We need 4 more. So skip 2, go in the next stitch with a single, a half double, and a double. So now that's 3. Skip 2, go in the next one with a single, half double, and a double. Skip 2, go in the next with a single, half double, and a double. Okay, so how many do we have now? We have 1, 2, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to make one more. So we skip 2, go in the next one with a single, half double, and a double. Okay, now we have our 6. So now we're going to chain 2, we're going to skip 2, and we're going to make a V in the next stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Going to mark it with my stitch marker. And then before and after each V-stitch, each corner, we chain 2. So we need to chain 2 here. And then we're going to skip 2, and we're going to put our little fan in the next stitch. So single crochet, half double, and a double. Skip 2. And then single crochet, half double, and double. Skip 2, 1, 2, go to the next, single crochet, half double, and a double. Let's look at what we have. We have our corner here, and then we have 1, 2, 3 fans. That's what we want, 3. Okay? And then we're going to chain 2 and skip 2, 1, 2, and then make our very last V-stitch. This is our 4th V-stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then I'll mark it with a stitch marker. Okay, then chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and then make our little fans. We're going to make 3 of them. It's a single crochet, half double, and a double. Skip 2, 1, 2, go in the next stitch with a single, half double, and a double. Okay, we have 2, we need 1 more. Skip 2, go in the next with a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, we have our 3 little fans. Then we'll chain 2. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. In the next one, we're going to make a double crochet. In the next one after that, we'll make a double crochet. And in the one after that, we'll make a double crochet. Now we're at the end of our row. Okay, we're gonna look at what we just did. Okay, I just want to put a stitch marker in that last one I did. I don't want to pull out my stitch. Okay, so what we did was we made a chain 3 at the beginning, so that counts as a double crochet. We put a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. We chained 2, we skipped 2. In the next stitch, we made a single crochet, half double, and a double crochet. Skip 2. And then we did a single crochet, half double, and a double crochet in the next stitch. Skip 2. Then we did the single crochet, half double, and double crochet in the next stitch. So that's our, what I'm calling our little fans. Okay, then we chain 2, skip 2, did a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, and we made our little fans. We made 3 little fans and skipped 2 in between each one. So 1, 2, 3 little fans, and then we chained 2, made our V-stitch, skipping 2 stitches, chain 2, skip 2, made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little fans. Then we chained 2, made our V-stitch, chain 2, and then we made 3 little fans, skipping 2 chains in, or 2 stitches in between. Then we chained 2, made our V-stitch, then chain 2, and made our 3 little fans, chain 2, and then we made 3 double crochets at the end like we had at the beginning of our row. Okay, so 3 fans, 3 fans, 6 fans, 3 fans, and 3 fans. Okay, let's go on to the next row. Okay, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to put a double crochet on top of the next double crochet. Then we'll put a double crochet on top of the next double crochet. Okay. Then we'll chain 2. And then we're going to put our little fans into this fan, but we're going to work into this space right here. Okay, just go across all these and go right in that space and put your single crochet, a half double, and a double crochet. Now we'll go to our next fan and work in this space, same space we're going to be working in all the time now. Okay, so single crochet, half double, and then a double crochet. And there's our space we're going to go into. Put your little fan in there, single crochet, half double, and then double. Now we're coming up to a corner, our V-stitch, so we're going to chain 2. And now in this V-stitch, we're going to make 2 V-stitches separated by a chain 2. Okay, so yarn over, make your double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. That's your first V-stitch. Then we'll chain 2, and then we'll make another V-stitch in that same spot. Okay, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, so we have 2 V-stitches separated by a chain 2 in that one V-stitch. And then we'll chain 2. Then we're going to go over to our little fan and put a fan in this space right here. All right, so a single crochet, half double, and then a double. And the next one, single crochet, half double, and a double. And the next one, single crochet, half double, and then a double. Now we're coming up to a corner, a V-stitch, so that means we'll chain 2. And then we're going to make our 2 V-stitches right in the center here in this space, separated by a chain 2. So yarn over, make your V-stitch, chain 2, go back in that same space and make another V-stitch. Okay, that's our 2 V-stitches separated by chain 2, all in this one V-stitch. And then we'll chain 2, we'll go over to our little fan. We have 6 fans here. We're going to put a fan in each one, same as we did in the beginning. And then we'll chain 2, put our 2 V-stitches separated by the chain 2 into this space, chain 2, put our fans on the fans, chain 2, put our 2 V-stitches separated by chain 2 into the V-stitch space, chain 2, put our fans on the fans, chain 2, and then put a double crochet on each of these 3 double crochets. And I will see you there. Now I'm at the end of the row and I put 3 double crochets, 1 double crochet in each of those stitches. Okay, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, which counts as a double crochet. Turn our work, put a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, put a double crochet on the next double crochet, and then chain 2. Then we're going to go into our fan or shawl fan into that space right here, put a single crochet, a half double, and then a double, okay, do that in the next one and the next one, single crochet, half double, and a double, the next one, single crochet, half double, and a double, okay, now we're coming up to our corner, so we need to chain 2 before the corner. And now we have these 2 V-stitches with a chain 2 in the middle. So every time you see a V-stitch now, you put a V-stitch in there. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now we have the chain 2 space, so every time you see that, you're going to put a V-stitch, chain 2, V-stitch. Okay, so we'll put the first V-stitch. Chain 2, and then a V-stitch. This is what's going to help our cardigan grow wider and longer as well. So you got a V-stitch there, so put a V-stitch in there. Okay, now we're coming off the corner, so we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to put our little fans into that space right there. That is the single crochet from the previous row. So put a single crochet, a half double, and a double. In the next one, same thing, single crochet, half double, and a double. Same thing in the next one in that space, single crochet, half double, and a double. And then we're coming up to our corner where our V-stitches are, so we need to chain 2. Put a V-stitch in the V-stitch.
We're at our chain 2 in the middle, so we need to put a V-stitch, a chain 2, and a V-stitch right in that space. And then there's a V-stitch here, so we'll put a V-stitch in that one. Now we're coming off that corner, so we need to chain 2. Then we're going into our little fans again, so in that space, right here, single crochet, half double, and a double. And you're going to continue this all the way across the row. And then when you come back around to your V-stitches, you put a V-stitch in the first one, V-stitch in the next one. In your chain 2, you put a V-stitch, chain 2, V-stitch in that space, V-stitch in the next one, a V-stitch in the next one, and continue on. Now make several rows, and this is going to grow as you're working it, and then I'll show you at what point to try it on to make sure if it's grown enough to be the size you need. Okay, now our Cardi has grown a lot, as you can see here. So I'm going to make sure it's on the front. I'm going to take it, fold it so our fronts are meeting. Okay, right here. And then take these corners, these pointy parts, fold them down to meet one another. I'm going to pin them. Now I'm just going to use a little tiny safety pin. I know it kind of catches in the yarn, but be careful. So I'm going to pin the back to the front right in that chain 2 space in the corner. Okay, go over to the other side and do the same thing. So that's pinned, so our arm will come out here on both sides. And so let me try it on. All right, so here it is. So I'm just going to put it on like a sweater, like a cardigan. My arm through that side and then through the other one. So there we have the front. Now what I'm checking for is under my arms to make sure there's enough room. And also to, you know, make sure that there's enough room on either side that it's going to go down my body. Show you the next step. Okay, here's the opening of our cardigan. So now what I'm going to do is just take my stitch marker out. I'm just going to continue doing the pattern, repeating all these fans and these V-stitches. And then when I get to the corner where they're right here, where they're connected together, I'll show you what to do there. Okay, so we'll just chain 3. So let me put my camera in the right spot. Okay, we've chained 3 and then turn my work, put double crochet into those 2 double crochets. And then chain 2. So I have 3 double crochets in the beginning, like before. And I've chained 2. And then we'll do our little fans, single crochet, half double, double, Just repeat what you've been doing until you get up to where you've pinned your front and back together, okay? And I'll see you there. All right, so I put the V-stitches in the V-stitches, and now we're at our underarm part, and we have these the chain 2s hooked together. So I'm going to yarn over and put a double crochet in that chain 2 space. And then I'm going to chain 1. So that's like half a V-stitch. And then I'm going to put into the next chain 2 space, I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to put a double crochet in there. And so now we have connected our 2 pieces together. Now we're just going to go on to the next V-stitch right here and put V-stitches in our V-stitches. And then put our fans in our fans. And so on, all the way till you get to the other side. And do the same thing, undo the other arm, of course. And then go all the way to your end. And then I'm going to come back and meet you when we go back to the underarm to show you what to do with that, what we just did here. Okay, where we put this V-stitch over these 2 stitches. Okay, now I've put my V-stitch in the last V-stitch there, and then we have this space here, so we're just going to yarn over. I'm going to go around that chain 1 space there with a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet right around it. And that will be our V-stitch for that spot. Okay, then you just go to your next V-stitch, which is right here. We'll put a V-stitch in there and just continue going around. I'm going to leave the pins in for now. Just continue on working your length till it's about 4 or 5 inches shorter than you want. I've crocheted my sweater down to 6 rows short of the length that I want to make. Okay, we're going to come back to our length, but for now we are going to work on our sleeves. I turned my sweater inside out. I tried it on again. I need to sew from right down here up to here. So I've counted the V-stitches. I have 5 on this side, 5 on the other. I have 7 on this side and 7 on the other, and this is the shoulder part. So you will have whatever you have because our arms are not all the same. Okay. So I pinned it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew from here to here. Right now I have my yarn on my needle. I want to sew this little opening. I'm going to sew from the left double crochet there, grabbing 2 loops on each one. I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to tie it and then sew that end in later. Put a couple of knots in there. Sew it the way you sew it. If you crochet it, awesome. Whatever you do. So now I'll go into the next 2 loops on the other side there, and then go under the ones on this side, and I'm just going to continue sewing it all the way, making sure I grab 2 loops on either side. My armhole connects there. I'll be right back. Okay, now I have it sewn up all the way down past, just a little bit past that safety pin. And so now it's all closed up on this side, so I'm just going to just weave it in since it's still on my needle. And do your other sleeve the same way, and then we're going to make a border around the opening. Now we're going to make the sleeves. I'm going to be using a 5.5 and a 6.5. Okay, I'll show you where to use the bigger hook.
So we'll start with a 5.5 and we're going to go into, this is the where your armpit is. So I'm going to go into this V-stitch with a V-stitch. I'm going to make a slip knot. Okay, and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to make a V-stitch. I'm going to go right into that V-stitch and make a V-stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, then I'm going to go to the next V-stitch and put a V-stitch in there. I'm going to put a V-stitch in all the V-stitches until we get up to our little fan type thing. All right, I've made the last V-stitch before our little fan stitches. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to the 6.5 hook and then make the chain 2 with that hook. And then I'm going to make our little fan shape thing with this bigger hook. And this is to make these parts of the design a little bigger so that they're going to even out with our V-stitches, so that the sleeve will be even, the bottom of it will be even. If you want it not even, just go ahead and use your normal hook size. Okay. I'm just making these stitches longer. Okay, and do the chain 2 with your bigger hook. Go to the smaller hook. Go over to your V-stitches and finish your V-stitches. All right, I'm at the end of the row and we have this where we did our seam. There's, you know, pretty wide space there, so I'm going to put a V-stitch in there as well. Okay, then I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet of our V-stitch. Then I'm going to slip stitch right into that chain 1, like right into it, into the loops. And then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work. So we're on the inside. Then I'm going to put a V-stitch in our V-stitch. And we're going to do just what we did in that first row of our sleeve. Just put V-stitches in the V-stitches. And then when we get to the chain 2 that takes us to our little fan type things, then we're going to change our hook to a bigger hook. Okay, and I'm going to make five of those V-stitch and the little fan stitches using the 5mm for the V-stitches, and then the 5.5mm for the V-stitches, and then a 6.5 for the little fan stitches all the way down for these 5 rows. And turn your work after every row that you do, and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, now I finished those 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm on the outside of my work, on the right side. I've chained 1, and I'm just going to cut this one right off, and then I'm going to change color. And I'll make a slip knot. And I'm also going to chain hooks. I'm going to go down to a 4.5. Now, the reason I'm going down hooks here is because I want to pull it in a little bit so it's not so loose on my arm. It'll help a little bit. It's subtle, but it's got to be doing something, right? And if you want, you can do decreases. You go ahead and do what you want to do. I'm going to go right through that. So this is our V-stitch, and our chain 1 is somewhere, right here. So I'm going to go through there. And make a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1. Then I'm going to go back in there and make a single crochet. And that's what I'm going to go over my tail as well. So this is what this row is going to be all about, single crochets. Okay, so then I'm going to go into the double crochet, make a single crochet in there. And then the next stitch is this double crochet. Go right under those 2 loops of it. And a single crochet, and the next stitch will be our double crochet. Put a single crochet in it. Put a single crochet in our chain 1. I'm going right through the loops, not around it. It's up to you what you do. And then next double crochet, put a single crochet on top of it. Single crochet in the next double crochet. Single crochet in the next chain 1. And carry on with that, and I'll meet you at little fan things. Okay, I'm up to those chain 2s we did. Just going to fit 2 single crochets in those. We have this is a double crochet, half double, and the single. So I'm just going to put single crochet in the single crochet in the half double, and single crochet in the double. And then we'll be up to that chain 2 on the other side. We've just put 2 single crochets in the chain 2. And then single crochet in the double crochet, part of that V-stitch, and then single crochet in the chain 1. Single crochet in the, oops, yeah, that's right, in the double crochet, and then continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm at the end of the single crochet row, and I'm going to, what do I have left here? I have a double crochet to go into, and then I have going to slip stitch into the first single crochet I made. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to go in back into that stitch. I'm not going to turn my work. And now I've switched from my 4.5 to a 4. Okay, so we did the chain 1. Then I'm going to go back in that stitch with a half double crochet. And go into every stitch along here with a half double crochet. Okay, and we're still working on the outside of our work, on the correct side, the right side. All right, continue making half double crochets all the way around this round, and I'll see you at the end of the round. Now I'm at the end of the half double crochet row, and so I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet I made, and then I'm going to do a stitch that I haven't really seen that often. Maybe you guys have. I think it's called a camel stitch. All right, it's easy.
All right, so I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to go back into that stitch with a half double crochet. And then I'm going to go to the next stitch with a half double crochet, but I'm going to work into the 3rd loop. Okay, yarn over. And we normally go under these 2 loops right here on top. But if you tip your work just a little, you'll see there's another loop here. Can you see that other loop? So there's the 2 loops on top, and you tip, and then there's another loop. You'll be able to see it in the next stitch better. So I'm just going to yarn over, tip my work, and go in that 3rd loop. It's a little difficult for the first one. And pull through all 3. Okay, so now we can see it better because these stitches, these loops are starting to push it forward. And then there's the 3rd loop. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then the 3rd loop. So let's go into that 3rd loop. Yarn over, pull through all 3. So what we're doing is pushing these stitches forward. So yarn over, we have our 2 regular loops we go under that are pushing forward already, and then we have the 3rd one right there. Okay, so we've yarned over, tip our work, go in that 3rd loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're getting like it almost looks knitted. Okay, yarn over, we have those 2 loops we normally go under, and then we tip our work, and then there's that 3rd loop. So we're gonna go under that one, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. All right, so I'm going to do this around this whole row, and then I'll meet you at the end of it, but I think I'm going to be making 2 more rows like this. All right. All right, now I've finished that camel stitch, I believe it's called. This is what it looks like. You can see this little ridge. It's like it's been knitted. Okay, now I'm at the end of the row. I'm going to slip stitch into the 1st stitch, and then I'm going to actually make 2 more rows of this camel stitch. Okay, chain 1. I'm going to go in the 1st stitch with just a regular half double crochet, and then I'll go to the next stitch with the camel. Okay, so we have the 2 on top, and then if you tip your work, you have that one at the back. Okay, we have two loops on top, and then that one at the back that we're going to go into. Okay, so yarn over, go past those 2 on the top, and then there's that 3rd one back there. Okay, now they kind of flip to the front here as soon as you do the 1st one. So you have your 2 loops there, and then and the back loop is sitting on top now. So you can go under it, finish your half double. See, they're both sitting on the front, turn, and it's right back here. Hope you can see with this darker yarn. Yarn over, pull through all 3 like normal. So there, now we have the 2 camel rows right on top of one another. Yeah, so I'm going to do this row and then another row for a total of 3, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've done the 3 rows of the camel stitch. So these rows are all pushed together. Looks like knit to me. All right, so now I'm going to slip stitch into the first one, my first stitch in that row, and then chain 1, and I'm just going to finish off my sleeve going back in that same stitch with a single crochet, and I'm going to make single crochets all the way around. Okay, I'm done the single crochet row, so I'm going to slip stitch in the first single crochet, chain 1, and then cut my yarn and sew it in. So what do you think? I think it looks pretty cool.